are mine now. You belong to me. Today we're going to play a new fun game.
Hello and welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast. My name is Dan.
My name's Nicole.
You're laughing already. What are you laughing at?
Because you had your mouth really close to the mic. Stand back and say it. Hello.
No, we'll just do the podcast like this.
All right.
Welcome to
How are you, Dad?
this movie podcast.
It's like as though you're trying to yell out to me in Australia.
Yeah, if I shout loud enough, we won't even need Zoom. Fucking, what are we going on about? Let's just movie podcast. Yeah, this week we've got another episode, and it's movies set in a day was our theme, wasn't it? So
yes, that was our theme.
Later, but we've got 3 sections. Anything goes. The main bit where we talk about those films, and then stitch up. And you lost last week, and you had to watch Beverly Hills Chihuahua to the squeak.
Would I, if it went for 24 hours, would I have won?
No. I looked at the final results a couple of days ago actually because I thought about that, and no, you still there was 2 more votes after we'd cut it off, and then you'd lost. It was 53%, I think it was, and I can prove it. No,
it's fine. I watched the movie today. It's all good.
Good.
Moving on. What's been happening with your week, Dan?
Same old, like running, exercising a lot, making the most of the sun, working on my tan lines. I've been doing a lot of looking into, like, watching YouTube videos about healthy eating and that sort of stuff, and I fucking love Cocoa Pops. So I've been trying to find evidence where, like, I've been trying to find a reality where Cocoa Pops are good for you, and I found some articles that said, "Oh, Cocoa Pops, eat them after a workout. It's amazing because, like, apparently it's a sugar thing." And so it just made me laugh. It amused me because I thought that's the definition of confirmation bias. I really love Cocoa Pops, so I get to eat them now after a workout.
I haven't had Coke. I can't even remember the last time I had Cocoa Pops. Maybe I had it once at work.
Yeah, I used to eat them at work.
But before that, God, it would have been decades ago when I was a kid, maybe.
You're slacking. Cocoa Pops are the best cereal ever made. If you want to take your Cocoa Pops game up a notch as well, then I've got a little secret for you, all right?
Oh yeah, go on.
So what
Share
you do
along.
On special occasions, right? I'm trying to be healthy, so I'm not doing it right now. But it's my birthday coming up in a couple of weeks, so on my birthday I'm going to have this for breakfast, and it's a bowl of Cocoa Pops, and you get a bag of giant chocolate buttons. And you break up them so they're in half, the chocolate buttons, and you just put them in the Cocoa Pops, and you just pour milk all over them, and you just go for it. You just go chocolate buttons with Cocoa Pops. Honestly, it's epic.
That sounds way too much.
It's brilliant. And another good one is Cocoa Pops with Oreos. Do the same thing.
Oh, Oreos sounds alright.
Honestly,
but chocolate melts, that just sounds like too much chocolate. Like, I love chocolate. I'm like addicted to chocolate, but
yeah,
Cocoa Pops and chocolate. But Cocoa Pops and Oreos, absolutely.
They both work. You can do it with anything as well. Put Choco Twix in there if you like.
I've had deep fried Oreo before when I was in the States.
Is that an American thing?
They deep fry everything. They do deep fried Mars bar, deep fried hot dogs, deep fried, you name it.
I had a chocolate banana once in the States. Have you ever had one of those? It was a frozen banana, that's right. Because I used to, me and my mate...
Yeah, of course.
Me and my mate Tom used to watch Arrested Development, and they had a frozen... George Michael, the kid in it, he worked on a frozen banana stand. And when me and my mate got to... Where were we? I think we were like near Newport Beach or something in California. And we saw a frozen banana stand, and we went fucking apeshit. And we're like, oh my God, we're going to get a frozen banana. And it was the best, might be the best day of my life. What have you been up to?
What have I been up
donuts?
To? Yeah, I made donuts from scratch and icing and everything. Did my quick stop motion. And my best friend, actually, when we did the podcast, she texted me on the day. She's like, hey, what are you doing Thursday? Yeah. I was like, I was already planning to pop over. So I went to her house, surprised her with a donut bouquet.
Are you pleased with it?
Yeah, I was happy. Oh, there was a little bit that it was like out of focus. So it was like, I edited it a few days later. I was like, well, I can't do anything about that now.
Yeah. It is what it is. You're stuck with it.
Yeah, I did
tell.
another one this Monday. So I'll probably publish that maybe later in the week.
Yeah.
One of our kids for Make-A-Wish, she's getting her wish on Saturday, so it's part of her.
It's part of that, is
wish.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. All right. So you're going to post that on social media as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went for a hike yesterday with my best mate, her fiance, and one of her housemates at Mount Macedon. That was really lovely.
Oh, nice.
Quite foggy, and it was drizzling a little bit, but not
Drizzle,
that
what,
bad.
rain?
Yeah.
In Australia?
It's winter here, man.
Yeah, but you don't have rain,
winter.
do you?
Yeah, in Melbourne you do.
I thought we got all the rain.
It'd be like Melbourne's kind of like New Zealand weather, I guess.
So can change from fucking 1 second to the next.
Oh yes, we get 4 seasons in one day in Melbourne. Yeah,
crazy. Have you been watching much stuff other than the podcast films and whatnot?
Yeah.
No more reality TV, have you?
No.
Do you know what? I went on Netflix the other day, and I just, because now we've spoken about it a couple of times, it's just in there now, and I can remember it's too hot to handle. And every now and again, it just niggles at me. It's like, well, you could just watch it. It's just there. And I just got like this little devil on my shoulder, and it's going, watch the reality TV show. I went on Netflix.
Did you watch an episode?
No, it's on Netflix, but I haven't watched it yet. I was literally hovering over the like start button, and then I sort of came to my senses. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Yeah, there's better shit out there to watch. I watched 2. Well, one of them I think is gonna be a series. Oh, I don't know if they'll continue to season 2, but I watched Little Fires Everywhere. That's on Prime. It was 8-episode series.
Yeah.
I wonder if they will do a second season.
Why is it?
They kind of wrapped it up at the end of episode 8. It's about mother and daughter that they move around a lot because she's an artist, and they find this rental, and Reese Witherspoon, she's one of the main leading actors, and she notices that they're homeless, so she ends up letting them take the place for renting the place for a really cheap price. And throughout the episodes, you try to wonder, like, what's this backstory between this mother and daughter, and Pearl, who's the daughter, she doesn't know who, like, her dad, or like how she came about, kind of thing. So you find that through the series, and it's based in the 90s, which I kind of loved that. You know, there was like they're watching TV and there was like Ricky Lake on.
Yeah.
There was a bit of Spice Girls in the background. The music tracks in that just reminded me when I was that young.
Like a 90s nostalgia vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I guess I'm kind of like that with the 90s, but the 80s more so for me because I'm older.
Yeah, because 90s was, you were a teen then, right? Were you a teenager?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
The other miniseries that I watched was Chernobyl.
Oh, I've been meaning to watch that.
You need to watch it, mate.
I know, Albert told me I need to watch it. Is that on Netflix?
No, that was on Foxtel. It might be on Netflix in the UK, I'm not sure, because they tend to be different. But yes, it was. There is times where you can't look at the screen, like,
because it's too
obviously
graphic.
Yeah. You just like seeing a human that, you know, their skin is literally rotting away.
Oh my God.
Like, there was one point, so wife comes in and, you know, she's wanting to be with her husband, and she's like with him near till the end of his death, and you just like the last moments of him, and I just looked, I was like, oh, I can't look at this.
And this is real footage, is it, or is it recreation?
No, this recreation. They do show a little bit of real footage at the end.
Yeah.
Of like the characters and the characters of the film, the miniseries.
So is it shot like a documentary though? Like, so they're talking. No. It's not at all. It's dramatization.
Yeah.
Holy shit! All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not sure that's the sort of thing I need to watch to pick me up at the moment, to be honest. I might stick
No, definitely not. I send you a link for Emma. Did you watch that?
No. It sounded
That's
interesting.
based-
I know you sent it through and I read the synopsis and it sounded quite good, but I just haven't done it. I haven't been in the mood for it.
It's about a couple who they couldn't have a child, so they adopted this child, and he was a bit of trouble, so they gave him back to the adoption agency. But in a way, they want to get this child back, so she finds a way to kind of get within the new family. It's really, I won't go too much into more details about that, but it's interesting.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
And the other really good international film that I watched was Tomboy. So it's a French film, and this French family moved to a different neighborhood.
Yeah.
And the local kids think Laura, I think her name is. They think she's a boy, so she just goes along with it.
Yeah.
Because she's got short hair and the way she dresses, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay, so it's about like identity, is it?
Okay. Exactly. Yeah. Anything else you've been watching?
I watched I actually watched a few shows. I watched Space Force, which is a new Steve Carell thing on Netflix, which was
Yeah, cool. Is it okay? It's not worth watching?
So it's all right. I watched it. I think I watched the first episode, and the only reason I carried on watching it is because it was very, very easy. It was just like not that funny, but easy to watch. There were funny bits in it, so I would say don't bother. Unless you just want to switch your brain off and just put on without changing the channel, then yeah. Films wise, yeah, Crazy Stupid Love, Pet, Stakeland 2, watch The Lighthouse finally. The Discovery.
Oh no, I was thinking The Lake House. I was like, oh, that's very not like you.
No, not the fucking Lake House. The Lake House. The Discovery, The Lovebirds, Good Time. I watched Good Time for the first time, and that is excellent. That's really, really good.
What's that now?
What, Good Time?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Robert Pattinson, he and his brother basically they've robbed a bank, and his brother's got a disability, and it's about I think it's set in one night again, and just about Robert Pattinson's character, really, what he does to try and avoid getting caught and all that stuff. And it's good. It's really good, high tension, high drama film. Cape Fear, which is a bit of a favourite of mine from my childhood, which is very disturbing because it is a disturbing film. Predator 2. Angel Has Fallen.
Oh, God.
And which is it's much better than London Has Fallen. It's miles better. First,
is that the first one, and then London Has Fallen came out?
No, there's 3 now. You've got Olympus Has Fallen.
I've seen that one.
London Has Fallen and Angel Has Fallen. Olympus is pretty good. For an action film, I think it's all right. London, I hate London Has Fallen. I can't begin to tell you how much I just detest that film. And then Angel Has Fallen I thought might be the best one in the series. I was skeptical. I really didn't want to watch it because the second one's so bad. Well, I think so.
Is it all the same actors, Gerrard Butler?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah, yes. Gerrard Butler still. He's just going around punching things and saying fuck quite a lot. Fuck off! I'm innocent. Fuck you. I'm going to fuck you up. It's just basically variations on him saying fuck. But I enjoy it. And last night I watched a film called Into the Wild, which I've never seen before.
That is so good.
It's all right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all right. It's a bit long, isn't it?
A bit long.
It's a bit long. It's a bit long and drawn out, and it's a bit like.
Is this the kid that he just graduates and then just like throws everything and he just goes into the wild, wants to go to Alaska?
That's it. Yeah, and he just starts making his way north, and it's directed by Sean Penn, and it was. I mean, I think he annoyed me quite a lot. His character got on my nerves. Like everything he said, I just felt like he just felt like he was better than everyone else. He just said everything with this little smirk on his face, and I was just thinking, oh, you little... But then, spoilers for Into the Wild, right? But then it gets to the end and he's dead, and I felt bad about...
he eats wrong berry, and then they find him in a bus. That's a true story, actually, isn't it?
It's a true story. And it is
a true story?
Yeah, apparently so. And it is a really good story. And yeah, I mean, hard one, especially for his family. Like, he goes away, they don't know where he is, and then a couple of years later they just find his body. But so it was a bit of a downer, but good story, just a bit long. And that's it. That's all I've watched. Let's move on to the main reason why we're here, and it's to talk about our double bill films that we chose last week. And the theme was your theme. Was it your theme? Did you pick it?
It was my theme. Yes. Movies set in a day.
It was set in a day, so anything less than 24 hours. And the films that we chose were Rope
and Grandma.
Grandma and Rope. Which one did you watch first?
I watched Grandma first.
Did you? You did the opposite.
Yeah. Let's start with Grandma.
Right. So 2015. This was from your list, Grandma.
Yes.
And I knocked out 2 others to get to that. But 2015, directed by Paul Weitz, I think you pronounce his name, Weitz. He directed American Pie and About a Boy. It stars Lily Tomlin as Elle, Julie Garner as Sage. Oh, Julie Garner, young girl Sage. She's in The Assistant, which we spoke about last episode, I think. She's the main role in The Assistant, and she also plays a character called Ruth in Ozark. And she's probably the best character in that show as well. She's really funny, really aggressive with people. So
cool.
I see her more and more, and the more I see her, the more I think she's excellent. And then a couple of other people, Judy Greer as Olivia, Sam Elliott as Cole, and John Cho briefly as Chow. And synopsis from Letterboxd is, I need to open this up. Self-described misanthrope Elle Reid has her protective bubble burst when her 18-year-old granddaughter, Sage, shows up needing help. The two of them go on a day-long journey that causes Elle to come to terms with her past and Sage to confront her future. So it's a pretty good synopsis. You've got Elle, the grandmother, or Lily Tomlin, and then you've got Sage, the granddaughter, and you've got that kind of that generation gap between them. So budget was $600,000. And the worldwide box office was 7.2 million, which was not bad. I was expecting it to be less than that, to be honest. When I saw the budget, I thought, maybe it got a limited release and stuff. But 7 million is not a bad return on 600 grand, is it?
And they shot it in like 16 days. Oh, actually, hold on. I wrote it down.
I think I saw 19 somewhere.
I think they were saying it. I watched something and they said it was done 16, 19, more or less.
We'll go half. We'll say 17 and a half days. Yeah, so quick turnaround. But yeah, so for opening scene, we've got Elle, and she's breaking up with her partner, Olivia. And you can see why they're breaking up, because there's a 600-year age difference between them. But it turns out that Elle had lost her partner Violet a year and a half previous, which we learn later. But yeah, we're introduced to Elle amidst this breakup, and they're breaking up, and it feels like it's probably the right thing to do. But her granddaughter Sage turns up with $18, and she's pregnant. So she has already made an appointment with the abortion clinic. 5:45, I think the time was, but and it's like 9 a.m. or something. So says, Gran, look, I've got this appointment at 6 o'clock. I've got no money. It's going to cost $600. I need your help. So Gran hasn't got any money either. She's a famous, or used to be like a famous poet, like big in the feminist movement in the 60s, I guess, that sort of era.
Yeah.
And she's got no money because she's paid off all her debts. She's got no credit cards. She's cut up all her credit cards. She's made a wind chime out of them. She says that she was transmogrifying her life into art, which I thought was quite a good line. But it's just about their journey to the abortion clinic, and they've got to raise this money. So the first stop, I think, is Elle suggests to go to a free abortion clinic, doesn't she? She says, I know this free place.
That's right. She goes, yeah, I know a place locally, and it ends up being a it's turned into a coffee shop now.
Yeah.
That sells drip shit coffee.
Yeah.
American drip shit coffee.
Yeah. and it's John Cho, I think, that works there. But the abortion clinic's no more. No success at that place. So they carry on to the ex-boyfriends or the person that got Sage pregnant, the boy. And he's just a bellend, and he playing around with his hockey stick. And
doesn't give an absolute shit.
Doesn't give a shit. And they decide to rob him. His name's Cam, isn't it? And she says to him, some people shouldn't grow beards. Your face looks like an armpit. And that made me laugh. But they nick $50 off him and a bag of weed, didn't they? so they've got like $68 by this point, I think.
Yeah, and then they head to a tattoo parlor where one of her mates works there. That's
it. And her mate kind of owes her a favour, or I guess, but they try to get some money. But her mate hasn't got any money. The tattoo artist. What do you call a tattoo person? Tattoo artist. Tattooist?
Yeah, tattoo artist. Tattooist? No, like I reckon tattoo artist.
I like tattooist. I like pianist. I'm going to start saying tattooist. I don't care if it's right. I just like it. So the tattooist, unfortunately she can't give her any money, but they do give her a tattoo. They get an O tattooed on
letter O
shoulder, yeah. So they move on. So they're just moving basically from place to place to try and raise this money. And I think probably the most interesting part, or the most interesting section, was when they went to go and see Sam Elliott.
Yeah.
And
they shot that in a couple of days.
Did they? Did you look this up?
Yeah. I looked this up. I saw a couple of interviews with...
Who with?
It was with Lily.
Yeah.
The director... Carl's character Sam, and Sage.
Oh, nice. I might look those up because I really liked that. I really liked this scene. It was would you say it was shot over a couple of days?
Yeah, they had him for 2 days.
It makes sense, I guess. But yeah, he was a really good character in it. He wasn't in it an awful. It was maybe like a 10-minute sequence of the film, but I guess it was a short film. So 10 minutes is quite a lot of the film, if you know what I mean. It's quite an important section. But I really liked how you went into their history. They haven't seen each other for 30 years. It turns out that Elle and him were married 49 years ago, I think they said. And he's
been married a number of times as well.
4 times, yeah. He'd been married 4 times, and he had
11 kids.
Yeah, I think it was like 7 kids and 11 grandchildren or something. And Elle actually remarks, she says, "Oh, you're a patriarchy." He's like, "Yeah," which rings true later on as well, because obviously they're there to try and borrow some money, and obviously she's desperate. She hasn't seen him for 30 years, but still she wants she wants to borrow this money from him. But when he learns that it's for an abortion, he decides not to give it to her because of their past, and Elwood had his baby aborted. But what I really liked about that scene is they set him up as like patriarch, and he was the one saying no. So it was quite I thought it was quite a powerful scene, to be honest. I thought it was quite good. It was very well done, and he felt like a real character. And and he made me laugh. I loved the bit when he went, "I'm just going to go out to work on my Jeep," and he goes outside and it's like a little radio control car, one of those little mini ones.
Yeah,
it was really funny. It really made me laugh, this film.
There was a bit of improv. Was
there?
Yeah, Lily's got a bit of a comedy background.
Mainly comedy background, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and the director actually kind of wrote this film and had her in mind for the character as well.
There's a lot of serious themes happening in this film, and it could have been really heavy, if you know what I mean. But I really liked that it was kept light. I felt like it kind of walked that path between heavy, like dark, and funny quite well. It wasn't too funny, it wasn't too dark. It kind of balanced it. It was obvious in its intentions. It was pro-choice. It was pro, like, if you want an abortion, there were trans characters, there were lesbian characters. It was a feminist film, but it wasn't like, it wasn't presented in a way that was like, fuck you to the patriarchy. Do you know what I mean? It it felt real to me, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was like a really well balanced, funny, breezed through quite nicely, and it was short and it was simple. And I do like these simple films.
And something else that I found out was, the car that Al had.
Yes,
That's Lily Tomlin's actual car.
it's her own car.
Yeah.
Awesome. And they used it for the shoot.
Yeah, and then also she used her own outfits.
Really?
For the shoot as well. So her own costume, her own car.
So what you're saying is that she got paid by the transport department, she got paid by the set deck department.
I mean, it
costume.
Was over $500,000 film, so not too much money went into it.
No. But I guess it all fed into that character as well, right? It was all of the quirks of that character, especially if it was written for her. It seemed to all work pretty well, and that I really liked that car. But I really liked some of those scenes when it was running out of petrol, and Sage says, "Oh, should it be making that noise?" And it's making that running out of petrol noise, and Elle goes, "Oh, it just makes that noise. It's supposed to sound like that." I mean, I thought it was a decent film. 8 out of 10 for me, or 4 on Letterboxd. I believe I gave it 4 stars.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. I would say 8 out of 10.
Yeah, it was excellent.
For sure.
So enough grandma talk. Let's discuss Rope, which was one of my picks. It was on my list, and you knocked out 2 others to end up with Rope. And it's 1948. It's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. It's the second oldest film I've ever seen.
Ever?
Yeah. Ever
really?
Seen. Yeah. It's 1948. That's pretty good for me. I think I said last week during lockdown, I've been trying to catch up with a lot of older classics.
Yeah, that's true.
And actually, the oldest film that I'd ever seen was Casablanca. And Albert had given me that for Stitch Up, but it's a brilliant film, so the joke ended up being on him. But yeah, so this is the second oldest film I've ever seen. And it stars John Dahl as Brandon, Farley Granger as Philip, James Stewart as Rupert. And then you've got a few other characters in there, but then they don't play a huge part. It's mainly those 3 characters, Brandon, Philip, and Rupert. And the synopsis is: 2 men attempt to prove they committed the perfect crime by hosting a dinner party after strangling their former classmate to death. So it's because it's an old film, it's hard to find much information about it. But yeah, I found a budget. I don't know if it's accurate. It seems like a lot. 1.5 million.
Yeah. Because it's all shot in one studio.
It's all shot in one studio. Yeah, you can tell it's a studio as well. You can see the
the backdrop,
the painting,
New York backdrop.
Yeah. See, they've done their houses and they've done smoke coming out of the closest.
And
house.
there's like a little house, and then there's like one little house that goes. Doot, doot, doot. The light goes on and off.
Yeah. But it basically just goes straight into the apartment, and Philip and Brandon have got a rope around who we later learn is their mate, David's neck, and they're strangling him. They've got the curtains drawn and they kill him. And they've got this chest sitting in the middle of the living room, and they decide to stuff him in the chest, open the curtains, and they've invited their mates round for a party because they're kind of high society, I guess, and they just want to prove that they're above murder and morals. And there's this whole kind of Friedrich Nietzsche thing going on the whole time that their mates are there. This body's in the chest, and Rupert is the main guy that it feels like they're trying to impress him.
Yeah,
throughout the whole film.
He used to be their professor, right?
Yeah, he was their teacher, and I think he said in the film that he'd taught them Nietzsche. Because Philip is very nervous. They've just killed someone. Philip is like kind of losing his mind a little bit, but Brandon is completely mad. He's just like kind of dropping hints. He's saying to people, "Oh, surely we can kill people." And one person even remarks that if they killed the right people, then there would be less queues to get show tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's all a hypothetical sort of conversation, and Brandon and Philip have obviously taken this all literally, and that's why they've killed their mate and stuffed him in a chest. But Philip's kind of slowly giving things away, and Rupert kind of interrogates him a little bit and starts asking him questions, he can see things are not quite right. I guess it ramps up. His suspicions ramp up a little bit as he's leaving. He goes to put a hat on, and it's a little hat, and it doesn't fit on his head. It just perches on the top of his head like that.
Well,
and he learns
also
that it's
David's initials are on the inside. Yeah.
So idiots, right? So they think they're meant to be these really clever people. They thought everything through, and they forgot about the hat. When I picked this, I'd never knew that it was shot and made to look like a single take. And it wasn't.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
You noticed that through them? No, I didn't know that. I noticed it while I was watching though.
Yeah, same. I noticed completely by accident. I think it was when David was going for, they were kind of trying to set up the chest because they wanted the body to be in the same room as the party, and they started putting the candelabras and books and stuff on the chest. And as David goes for the books, the camera goes behind his back, and then
starts again.
Yeah, that technique that they use quite a lot nowadays, I guess, when they go behind the back and that's the cut point. I thought, I was like there, and that was maybe like 15 minutes into the film. I thought, is this meant to be a single take? And I was really happy when I found out that it was, because I'm a sucker for a single take film. I love it, and obviously 1917 most recently sort of does that.
Yes,
Does that? I mean, that's the kind of the ultimate single take. But this is very good. I mean, it's an bloody old film, and I guess I didn't.
It would have been relatively new as well, I guess. Yeah. I don't know.
Must be
any. Yeah, well, it's not like I've watched many old films, but that's probably the first time I've seen such a classic.
Yeah.
And seeing it done in that one take.
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah.
I know every take, because I watched an interview with Alfred, and he said that Alfredo, and those one takes were about 10 minutes each. He was saying up to.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
And he mentioned with the opening scene, so you see them kill David, put him in the chest, and then they go into the kitchen and then move all the dining room stuff back into the main room.
Yeah.
And apparently when they shot that the first time, when they came back, there was an electrician in the back fixing the backdrop. He's like,
no way.
Okay, we have to do the scene again. Yeah.
Bloody spot.
He's like, cut. Need to do that again.
The whole electrical department is fired.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I bet he lost his shit at that.
But yeah, it's my little bit of trivia about.
Oh, nice. That's interesting. Well, I had no idea that it was going to be one single take, and it really adds, like this kind of film, I think it felt like it really added to the tension for me. Especially there was one scene in particular where I think they're coming towards the end of the party, and the maid is starting to remove all of the things from the chest, but so that the camera's facing the chest, but also the hallway. Yeah. She takes the candelabras off, she takes them into the hallway, and then she just keeps coming backwards and forwards to the other room. Yeah. And then eventually and the whole time you're thinking, fucking hell, she's going to open the chest in a minute. And then you're thinking, Brandon, what are you doing? Like, I'm thinking, mate, come on, pay attention. And then very last minute, they go to open the chest and he just closes it. And he's like, oh. And he's just
you could do it in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, cool as a cucumber. Philip's just meanwhile crying like a baby in the corner. Weeping, yeah.
I know there was a little bit of an edit, like the chair, how they shot the chair in that final scene wasn't exactly how it was positioned, but that's just like a little thing that I noticed.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think the chair was faced as though the back was facing the camera, where the whole time it was facing the window. That was just a little thing for me.
It's probably that electrician. He buggers off, doesn't he? Rupert goes, he leaves the party, but then uses the excuse to come back that he's left his cigarette case. And long story short, he finds the body in the chest because Brandon almost wants him to know. Brandon wants him to know about it, doesn't he? He wants him to find out, and he wants Rupert to agree. Especially because Rupert was kind of advocating the murder earlier in the film. Rupert was saying, oh, wouldn't it be great if we had, if people could just murder whoever they wanted. And another character remarks, well, what do you mean? People, you can't just go around killing whoever you want. And he says, no, well, what if you just have a week? You know, you have murder week or strangulation day. And
like the Purge.
Like the Purge. So it turns out that he's invented the Purge. Rupert James Stewart is the inventor of the Purge. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It's a 9 out of 10 film for me. I thought it was really good. I'm when it comes to these single location or these movies set in a day, those kind of real time films, I do automatically kind of quite like them just because of the way that they're told. I can't think of a bad one. I'm sure there are. We'll have to find one for Stitch Up. But yeah, I seem to enjoy simple films a lot more. And this is probably one of the simplest.
And also films that don't drag on for too long as well. Because this film was also like an 80-minute film, even less maybe. Yeah.
We've had quite an easy week this week, haven't we? We watched 2 short films. Well, I've watched 2 short films.
You said 9. Right. I also will give it a 9.
Yeah. Let's cut the rope short and move on to the next section. Shit jokes. Oh, I hate myself sometimes.
Fucking bad jokes.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Let's move on. Next section. We're going to pick the films. So, because it's my pick, I've got a theme in mind, and I've decided to go for single location movies. Now, I kind of got this idea from watching Grandma and Ropes, more specifically Rope, that is shot in a single location. We watched Get Out for the last episode. That's kind of single location.
One of your options for this week's was 12 Angry Men. I watched that during the week as well. That's also single location as well.
Yeah, that's single location. So I've been watching quite a few, and there are loads. And I went on. I asked a question on Instagram: what kind of single location films would you kind of recommend? And someone on my followers, Get to the Movies, they gave me a load of suggestions. Right, so I've got 3. My first pick, 2013 film starring Tom Hardy called Lock. Pick number 2 is Panic Room, 2002, Jodie Foster. And my last pick is 2009 film directed by Duncan Jones, and it's called Moon.
Okay.
And they are my 3 picks. So what have you got?
The Assistant is number 1.
The Assistant, okay.
Yeah. Ex Machina is my second.
I thought he was going to say X-Men.
X-Men.
Ex Machina, that is a fantastic choice. I never thought about it.
I haven't seen it, and I really want to watch that film.
Okay.
Desperately. As well as The Assistant.
Okay.
And the final one is The Invitation.
We've now got 6 choices. I chose Lock, Panic Room, and Moon, and you've chosen The Assistant, Ex Machina, and The Invitation. I need to knock one of yours out straight away, and you need to knock one of mine out straight away. Do you know what you're going to... Have you got a gut feeling of what you're going to...
Yeah.
You're nodding. It's a podcast, so they can't hear you.
Panic. I'm going to knock out Panic Room.
Panic Room.
Yeah. I've seen it before.
Okay. I'm going to get rid of The Invitation.
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of that because I watched about half an hour of it about 3 months ago, and I didn't find it very interesting.
Okay.
Things didn't really start happening, and I don't know. It was late at night, so maybe I need to give it another go. But not this time. It's gone. And that leaves us with 4. I've got Lock and Moon, and you've got The Assistant and Ex Machina. Do you want me to start with Lock?
Yeah.
As with many of these single location films, it's a short one. It's 85 minutes. And I'll read you the synopsis. So Ivan Locke has worked hard to craft a good life for himself. Tonight, that life will collapse around him. On the eve of the biggest challenge of his career, Ivan receives a phone call that sets in motion a series of events that will unravel his family, job, and soul. So Locke is about Tom Hardy's character. I believe he's the only character in the film. He does talk to other people, but it's through telephone calls and voicemails and things like that. He is, if I remember rightly, he's kind of working in the city during the week, and it's maybe a Friday night. He's like a site manager, site supervisor or something. He's like the head honcho on this building site, and he's doing all these really important concrete pours and this high pressure job. And he's leaving that job on a Friday to go back to his family. And it's about his journey from work to home and things that have been going on in his life, and certain things are revealed, and his character goes through this whole journey on that journey. Moon came out in 2009, and it was directed by Duncan Jones, he's the son of David Bowie. Duncan Jones.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool.
So with only 3 weeks left in his 3-year contract, Sam Bell is getting anxious to finally return to Earth. He is the only occupant of a moon-based manufacturing facility, along with his computer and assistant, Gertie. When he has an accident, however, he awakens to find that he is not alone. So yeah, it's Sam Rockwell. He's on his own. He's on the moon. He's like mining for precious resources, sending them back to Earth. And you can't say much about this film without giving away the premise. So I'm just going to leave it there. Sam Rockwell is actually probably one of my favourite actors, I would say. And Duncan Jones is a very interesting filmmaker. This is maybe my favourite Duncan Jones film. And now, before you knock one of those out, you need to tell me about yours.
Okay. So, Ex Machina.
Ex Machina.
Machina.
Right.
Caleb, a 26-year-old coder at the world's largest internet company, wins a competition to spend a week at a private mountain retreat belonging to Nathan, the reclusive CEO of the company. But when Caleb arrives at the remote location, he finds he will interact with the world's first true artificial intelligence.
And you haven't seen it?
Right. I haven't seen it. A 2014 film.
It feels like it's older than that. It feels like it's been around forever. I guess that is 6 years now. But yeah, it's that one. Ex Machina.
Hey. So The Assistant is 2019 film. So looking in a day of a life of an assistant to a powerful executive.
Again, it's a very simple setup. I watched this about a month ago. It's got Julie Garner in it again, who we mentioned, who was in Grandma. She plays Sage in that, and she's Ruth in Ozark. Yeah, and it's an uncomfortable film, but it's very relevant in the current climate. Okay, so we've got 4: Lock, Moon, The Assistant, Ex Machina. We've done the read-throughs. I'm fairly convinced about what I want to watch out of yours, I think. How do you feel about my 2 out of Lock and Moon?
They both seem really good. I think I'm leading more to Lock.
Okay.
So I'm gonna knock out Moon.
You're gonna knock Moon out.
Yeah.
Moon is gone. Yeah, I think a bit of a selfish reason, but the reason I'm gonna knock out The Assistant is because I've seen it
recently.
I've seen it really recently. For our next episode, single location films, and also my birthday episode, we're going for Lock and Ex Machina. So we're going for Tom Hardy versus Oscar Isaacs. Isaac? He's good in this as well, by the way. He's really good in Ex Machina. He's nasty. He nasty
boy.
Motherfucker. Right. We're done with our choices. You know what that means, don't you?
Yeah.
It means that we're moving on to Stitch Up. And last time we'd done a poll. I did a poll, and you lost the poll, and you had to watch Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2. Nicole, how was Beverly Hills Chihuahua the sequel?
Oh my god, it was amazing. It was fucking great, mate.
Genuinely.
No. I was watching throughout the film. I was just laughing at how cringeworthy the dialogue and. I mean, if you're a kid, yeah.
In what way? Was it cheesy or?
So cheesy. Oh my word. So cheesy.
It's a kid's film, isn't it? It's called Beverly Hills Chihuahua. If it weren't cheesy, I would have been really disappointed.
Okay, so Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2 came out in 2011.
Okay.
Budget was 12 mil. It did 29.6 million, but I think it went straight to DVD.
Okay, that makes sense.
Beginning scene, the in a church. Looks like
What, the dogs are in the church?
Yeah, well, like it looks like it's just two people getting married, but in the end, it's actually two
dogs.
chihuahuas getting married.
Well, did they decide to do this on their own, or were they forced into it by their human parents?
No, they wanted to do this.
Did they?
And the humans were like, "Oh, we're so happy! We planned this wedding. It's fantastic."
Did they bark their vows?
They said "I do" by barking, but you know how they do with those type of films. They word it out as though that they can speak English.
What, they subtitled it, or they actually had the voices?
They actually had voices.
Okay.
But like for obviously humans, all they can hear is whoa, 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 whoa.
Right, got it. So the dogs communicate with each other like humans do, but the humans just hear barking.
Yeah.
So according to the humans, then the dogs are just barking constantly. You'd fucking get rid of them, wouldn't you? I love dogs, but if it barked constantly, I'd think, mate.
I got a dog story, but I'll leave that till later.
Okay.
So
dog story or dog-in story?
Dog story. Jesus Christ, not dogging. I mean, oh no, that's probably social distancing. You shouldn't be doing dogging right now.
No, you shouldn't be doing
dogging.
You should be doing dogging
do it
during the lockdown. I believe dogging's actually been made illegal now. Beverly Hills Chihuahua.
Anyway.
So they get married. It's cheesy. There's dogs. Like, what's the main plot of this film?
So Rachel and Sam, they own one of each of the dogs.
Yeah.
And Rachel is heading either to the Amazon or to the jungle with her auntie for 6 months. No. To like the jungle.
Got it.
Properly. Yeah. To, do a bit of research kind of thing. So he takes care of the dogs, and Chloe and Pappy, they end up having puppies 4 months down the track.
Hang on, is this after they got married?
Yeah, so like it goes 4 months later, and then they've got 5 little pups.
Good.
Anyway.
I'm glad to know that there's no premarital sex.
Yeah. So yeah, Sam's taking care of the puppies, and he decides to go down to see his family.
Yeah.
Further down in LA, and rocks up, and then sees all these letters, like notice letters, final payments. Like, oh, Dad, what's going on? And he goes, oh, my back's been out, so I haven't been able to work. So he goes to the bank, and the bank says, oh, if you don't give us $40,000 by the end of the month, then we'll have to take your house. So the dogs find out. They're like, oh, what are we gonna do? And then they see this advert for this dog show, and they're like,
prize $40,000.
50,000. Let's enter this dog show. Anyway, they enter the dog show.
Yeah.
Ends up being between Pappy and this poodle, and Pappy loses because he doesn't have papers, or he's wild.
Is he an immigrant dog?
Yep. Actually, Chihuahua, it's the smallest dog, and the name comes from Mexico City.
Does it?
Called Chihuahua.
Oh, yeah. Wow. You learn something new every day.
Yeah. Fun trivia.
Did you learn that when watching this film, or did you know that already?
No, I Googled it. I was like, oh, I should find out some fun facts about actual Chihuahuas. And I was like, oh, smallest dog, and it's named after a Mexican city.
Have you got more Chihuahua facts?
No. Shall I find some more?
You should have sizzled it. You should have teased it. You should have been like, I've got some Chihuahua facts for you. And I would have been like, oh, wait till the end. That's all right. You've spoiled me already. Go on. What else then? So they're in this competition. Does the poodle talk?
The poodle talks. She's like, really fancy, and she's French, and she acts French. She acts French, but she's actually from Venice or something, or like Venice Beach. Anyway, so they head home. They've lost this competition, completely shattered. They're like, oh, we need to find a way to find this money. And there's been these massive bank robberies within LA, and they want to find these burglars that keep on robbing banks. And this the bank where they got the loan from gets robbed, and the Chihuahuas go there, and they suddenly hop into one of the money bags, and then get taken back to the location. And long story short, they found the criminals. And whoever found the criminals gets a 200,000
Wow.
reward.
Wow.
So they get their house back plus a bit of extra cash.
Wow. Okay, so they pay off the debts and they've still got 160 grand. Did they split it between the dogs?
Well, it's the adults one that got the money. They got their house back.
They deserve some of that money, I say. They should.
Maybe it happened. Maybe in Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3. Maybe that's when you find out that what they do with all that extra cash. Actually, at the end, Sam proposes to Rachel, and then they're in the backyard, having a little party.
Yeah.
A little party with the dogs and his parents and herself and her auntie, and that's how it ends.
And they live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, this sounds fucking terrible.
I was just like, I was doing some sewing, or I was cutting out the pattern when I was watching this, and I was just like, my God, this is so fucking cheesy. Mind you, I remember when I was like 10, Cats and Dogs came out, and I loved that film when I was younger. And then
that's the one where they're fighting, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. And then I watched it maybe a few years back, and I was just like, this is shit.
Yeah.
But I guess when you're a kid, you enjoy these type of films, but when you get older, you're like, this is so cheesy and rubbish.
When you're a kid as well, you've never seen anything like it before. Like if the first film that I ever watched when I was a kid was about a talking dog, I think I would have been like, this is crazy. It's the best thing I've ever seen. But not now. We know better now, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, I'm glad because last time you didn't mind the last one, did you? So I'm glad that
Lola was LOL wasn't too bad.
Too bad.
I mean, it wasn't.
Even though it was in German.
Yeah, German subtitles in French.
Yeah. So Beverly Hills Chihuahua 2, rubbish. So are you going to score it for me?
Yeah, I'll give it a 4. Just its legs. Not 4. Ooh. Should I give it 4? Maybe we should give it 3.5.
Right. Okay. Good job. So moving on then to the next bit where we find out who's actually going to watch the Stitch Up film for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing the polls. Last week you did one. Or last episode I did one. This episode you've done one. And this time you chose for me Cats. And I chose for you Jonas Brothers. But so how did you put the poll on? I know that you put the poll on because I voted for you.
Yeah, I put the poll on. I was in the middle of Mount Macedon. I was like, oh fuck, I better do this. So then, bad decision to put it on my end because a few of my guy mates, they just have it against me.
It's the same for me. My mates vote against me as well.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Okay.
So there was 10 votes.
Okay.
In the end.
Yeah. So it wasn't 50-50 then. Is there a winner?
It wasn't 50. There is a winner.
Okay.
With 6 votes.
Yeah.
Dan's watching Cats.
No, he's not. He's not watching Cats. I'm not watching Cats. I'm not doing it.
You are. You know what? If I lost this week, I was potentially willing to watch Cats instead.
No, this podcast is over. I'm leaving.
You are. There was 10 votes. Six votes went to you, mate.
I want to recount. I want to recount. I want evidence. Where's the evidence?
Do you want me to send you the evidence?
Yes.
Oh wait, can you see that?
6 votes for Dan. All right. Hang on. Who did Dimitri vote? Dimitri voted for me, you fucker. Oh, you wait. Oh.
I didn't have to convince him at all.
Yeah. Right. I'm doing the next poll. You do realise that next week is my birthday episode, and I've got to watch Cats and talk about Cats for my birthday. Happy fucking birthday, Dan.
Happy fucking
Cats.
birthday.
McCavity. Jason Derulo. Fair enough. So all there is to do then is to announce what we're picking for the next poll, which I'm doing.
I'm going to say my film because because it will give you inspiration to be like, fuck you, I'm gonna give you a really shit film.
Okay.
So mine's called Glitter.
Glitter.
That's right.
That is a musical.
Is it a
I think.
musical?
Is it?
Well,
Or it's
it's
about
like-
singing.
it's about, yeah, she's trying to get into the biz.
Yes, not good. Not good. All right, Glitter with Mariah Carey. So I need to pick something for you. Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3.
Oh, fuck you, mate.
Well, I was thinking you didn't enjoy it that much. You gave it a 3, and
Fuck you.
apparently 3 is worse than 2. And but if you lose this time, you can't do anything else while you're watching it. You just got to watch it. You got to soak in all of the magic of Beverly Hills Chihuahua. Right. So next poll then, Glitter versus Beverly Hills Chihuahua 3 for you. And I'll put that poll on during the week, and then we'll find out the results on the next episode. So that's it for films that were set in a day. Next episode is, I think I mentioned, it's my birthday, and we're going to be doing single location films, and then we're going to find out who lost Stitch Up and all that nonsense. And I've got to watch bloody Cats. How did I forget that?
I'm so fucking excited to hear this review.
Yeah, I bet you are. Cats. I can't watch it today. I can't face it today.
I mean, it might make you happy.
I don't think it's going to make me happy. I've got just a hunch. I think it's going to make me very angry, to be honest. I hope that I can enjoy it. I hope that I can enjoy it for what it is, rather than be annoyed at it. But yeah, if you want to catch up with me, I'm on Instagram at flick.face, or email the show at twinpixpod@gmail.com. How are you doing with your social media stuff?
You can find me on Instagram on Nika Creative or Chica Nika. There's a little bit of stuff happening on Facebook on Nika Creative.
Yeah.
And posting
Facebook
a few
page.
things on the website, nikacreative.com.
You're posting on there now, are you?
A little bit.
Yeah. You've been putting your stop motions and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Cool.
I haven't posted last week I posted on how I created the stop motion, the Make-A-Wish stop motion.
Like a how-to video.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I did mine on a phone, so anyone can make one.
Yeah.
Really easy.
Let's go.
That's it.
I'm going to go and watch Cats. See you later.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Yum yum yum.
Not even responding to that.